Today I'm going to be looking at the latest module for Planet Dance. This is a script called Paran Analysis, and it's a way of looking at the horoscope that is very unusual but very helpful. It was pioneered and popularized by Bernadette Brady in her book about fixed stars. You can find the module in Time, Tools, Paran Analysis. When you open the module, this will be your first screen. I'll be using the chart of Boris Johnson as the example here and just talking you through some of the key features. On the right hand side of the screen, you'll find the wheel which shows the positions for the planets which are rising, culminating, setting and anti-culminating. I'm just going to switch off the fixed star positions to make this simpler to see. So what you have are the positions in right ascension for the rising planets, the culminating planets, the setting planets and the anti-culminating planets. The anti-culminating planets are set in relation to the IC and the culminating in relation to the MC. All positions in this quad wheel are orientated to the right ascension of the midheaven, which is represented by this red line here. Boris Johnson was born with 103 degrees 59 minutes of right ascension on the meridian, the MC. So what you have here is an opportunity to see how the planets interact in terms of their rising, their culminating, their setting and their anti-culminating. A Paran or Paran is formed when two planets, generally two, but it could be more, two planets are simultaneously present on one or more of the angles. So you could have a planet rising when another is culminating. You could have a planet culminating while another is on the IC. You could have a planet on the IC while a planet rises. Any planets at the moment of birth that are on the angles will be very close to this vertical red line. You can see that the node, Venus and Sun in particular, being to the right of this line, have already culminated, and the Moon being to the left of this line is due to sometime after Johnson's birth. If we look at his birth chart, you can see that this is true. Here's the meridian and the MC. Node, Venus, Sun have already culminated, and the Moon, which is about 20 or so degrees away from the ascendant in longitude, is yet to rise, but will do so in the hour or two after his birth. On the left hand side of the screen you have various listings of information that are related to Parans. This listing here is basic information: the position in longitude, the position in declination, latitude and right ascension. This table here you have the diurnal and nocturnal semi-arcs. Here you have the time in right ascension for the culmination of planets, the degree of culmination when planets rise, culminate, set and anti-culminate. Essentially the method of Rob Hand is to identify the time in right ascension on the midheaven when planets are either culminating, rising, setting, or anti-culminating. And this makes it quite easy to work out the positions in relation to the angles, the meridian and the horizon. And this table here just shows the 12-fold division of this wheel. The midheaven, 103 degrees 59 minutes of right ascension, or in time 6 hours and 6.93 hours past the vernal equinox. Each of these divisions represents 2 hours of right ascension. These are not houses as such, but just a way of giving some visual cues to organising this rather complex arrangement of wheels. You can alter the date and time of interest. You can alter the place of interest. You can alter the rate of arcs of direction. There's 4 choices there. And you can add various elements to the wheel through the dynamic positions display. So we opened with the fixed star positions, but you can show the transits. And these are transiting positions in right ascension for this date and time. Where planets align, for instance, Venus here at culmination in Johnson's chart. At the time of this chart, the setting degree in right ascension of Venus is the same, which means that Johnson is having a Venus transit to his natal chart using this Paran method. You can also show the solar return. So this will be the solar return for 2021, which is yet to occur. We're about 3 months away there. If you want the previous one, you just put in 2020 or whatever that you're interested in. And you can also show the progressions. These are the progressed positions in right ascension, and you can compare these across the wheels as well. There's also various listings. The main Paran listings, so we have the Parans in planetary order. You can have them in degree order. You can have them in age order. So essentially the moon, which is due to rise, rose at 22.81 years of age for Boris Johnson. Neptune rose at 43.2 years of age, and they're the only 2 planets that will come across his horizon in the course of his lifetime. You have various data lists. So this is essentially the same information here, but showing the degrees in right ascension for rising, culminating, setting and anti-culminating. So you can see that the sun, transiting sun, is due to culminate at 23 minutes, so it's just entered Aries. Let's put the transits back. So this is the transit wheel. This is approximately the degree of 0 Aries here, which is 0 degrees in right ascension. You can see Sun and Venus very close here. There are other data lists. You can show the same information for the solar return positions and so on. You also can show the planet pairings, so the natal star to planet pairings. And you can cross-reference here, so as Mars culminates in his natal chart, Zosma in Leo rises, and so on. Also various graphs. This is the sort of horizontal version of the natal wheel. The natal positions on top and the transits on the bottom. This is the culminating line. This is the rise line. This is the set line, and this is the anti-culminate line. This may be easier for some people to read. Just for reference, the red line is the right ascension of the MC, and the pink or magenta line is the RAMC at now. And this distance is determined not only by the time but also by the rate of motion. This is using Nabod arc, the average movement of the Sun over the course of one day, 1 year. The RAMC clock, this is essentially the same information here, but it's oriented to 0 Aries. So and right ascension of the midheaven, 103 degrees 59 minutes there. This is 0, 90, 180, 270. This is the right ascension of the midheaven currently, and you'll see that Johnson has just experienced a culmination of his natal Uranus. In terms of this form of analysis. And there's some information about the semi-arcs. So the Sun, in Johnson's case, spends 7.5 hours in the diurnal semi-arc, so that is in the position from rising to culminating, and 4.5 hours, the difference between the diurnal arc and 12 hours is 4.5 hours. This is the time spent from anti-culminating to rising. And you have a full arc graph, essentially the same information, but this is time above the horizon and time below the horizon. So from rising to setting and from setting to rising. You can find further information in the help menu, and you can look through there. That explains most of the relevant features of the module. So I hope you enjoy using this module. There's plenty more to explore here, and I may do a further, more detailed video at a later date, but this should get you started.